Check. All right. Sorry. I didn't do a microphone check before I started this, and there has been one time where I didn't do that, and I didn't have a microphone for a little bit. So just thought I'd get that out of the way. Anyway, how's it going, everybody? My name is Mark Harmon, and you are watching the Comic On Demand show. That's right. This is the show where I will draw a 4-panel comic in about an hour, and it'll look something like this. But as you can see, it is blank, right? That's because I am going to let you tell me what to draw. How does that sound? So it's going to be kind of like I have like a sneeze coming on. Sorry. Anyway, it's going to be like the joy of painting with Bob Ross, except I'm not going to paint. I'm going to draw, and I don't have a fro. I'm bald, and he likes squirrels a lot more than I do. Anyway, so yeah, this is the show where I will draw a 4-panel comic in about an hour, but I'm going to let you tell me what's going to be in this comic, okay? But I do have a couple ground rules first. So, rule number 1, I try to keep the show PG as possible, so I won't take any suggestions of anything nasty or crude or whatever. I'm not going to draw it. And then second, I'm not going to take any suggestions of anything that's already copyrighted, like a property or character or a brand name or something that already exists, like Superman or Batman. I sell the originals, and there's copyright stuff with selling characters. It might fall under parody. I'm probably going to be safe if I do, but I'm just avoiding it, all right? I'm avoiding that issue if it ever becomes an issue. It probably won't ever, because like other artists at like Comic-Cons and stuff, they sell pictures of things that already exist all the time, and nobody's like suing them for it. But doesn't mean they won't. So I am going to live in fear, and I am going to just not do it. Okay, so get those creative juices going. Think of something cool for me to draw, and then how it's going to work is make sure you can see the chat, because that's how this is it's going to work through the chat. Okay, so you're going to see a different screen pop up with a little dancing guy right here, and then hopefully at the same time, I'm going to put the word go in the chat. Okay, so you'll see Comic On Demand go, and then that's when you put in your suggestion. Okay, so on my end, I will then see those suggestions, and the first 2 that come in, those are the ones I'm going to use. Okay, so whether they're good or bad, I'm doing it. Okay, so sound good? So where's my button? Okay, right there. So when you see the little dancing guy no, not when you see the dancing guy, because that might come sooner or later. I don't know. When you see the word go in the chat, then put in your suggestion. Okay, no matter what the screen's doing, whether I'm still talking or the dancing guy's been going for a minute and a half, when you see the word go, then give me your suggestion. Sound good? Okay? All right, let's do this. Alright, we have our first 2 suggestions. We have our first suggestion of a Hobo Grasshopper, and our second suggestion of Whitewater Rafting. Okay. I'm going to click here. Then I shall put the suggestions right here so that I do not forget, even though I forget. Hobo Grasshopper and Whitewater Rafting. Okay. There we go. Oh, I forgot to mention, as you can see here, right there. This is episode 39. We are almost at 40, which then means we are almost at 50, and that'll be insane. If I can get to at least 52 episodes, then I will have been doing this for a year. That'll be crazy. Okay. Hobo Grasshopper and Whitewater Rafting. Okay, let's do... oh, dang. I have like this picture of me and my brother's whitewater rafting, and I thought maybe it's kind of turned into a weird angle, so I was going to use it as reference, but I can't really see it from where I'm sitting. So I'm just going to pretend like... I know what this all looks like. So I'm just kind of going off of my memory of the picture, kind of what the raft looked like. Okay, so it's easier for me to tell stories when I'm in the inking stage. So remind me when I start inking if I forget that I have a story that I need to tell everybody. And this is going to be like hello, your parent are watching according to your mother. but not according to you. You don't think you're watching? Do you know what you're doing? Do you know where you are? Anyway, so I have a comic on demand exclusive story for you. It's a story that happened to me like last week that I haven't told anybody yet. So only my immediate family, like my wife and kids, know. And well, my wife's family knows because they were kind of involved a little bit. Okay, hold on. I'm having an idea here. Because I don't want to be drawing 100 people here. So... okay. Actually, you're early. You said William says just in time for stories, but actually you're a little early for stories. I said that I have a story, but it's going to be easier for me to tell when I'm inking because talking and sketching is hard. I don't know how other artists do it, but talking and inking just seems a little better because inking is a little more. I don't know. I don't want to say monkey work because I don't want like inkers mad at me, but because it's not. There's a lot to inking that I don't even do and I'm unaware of, but because people are just like, oh, inking, that's just tracing, but it's not just tracing, but it kind of is. Okay, so remind me when it's time for inking that I have a story to tell. I don't think I'll forget because it's kind of a wild story. that just happened to me last week that not even my family knows. At least like my parents and brothers and sisters, because I haven't told them. Because here's the thing. My family has a tendency to like the way that we express our love for each other is we absolutely roast each other. And this is one of those stories that after I tell it, I'm going to get absolutely roasted for a while. So that's why I haven't said it yet. Because it's kind of embarrassing. Let's just say it might show up in the newspaper, okay? Let's put it that way. Okay. I didn't draw the whole panel off. I didn't draw the whole panel off camera, did I? I don't know if I did or not. Okay. Let's do... Wait, what is it? Oh, it's a grasshopper. That's right. I knew it was some kind of bug. I knew I was drawing like a bug, but then my brain was thinking Jiminy Cricket. So I was like, wait, is that cricket? Oh, it's a cricket. Grasshopper. Got it. Last time I think I've drawn a... Oh no, I moved my stack. I used to have right over off camera here was the whole stack of Comic On Demands that I could flip through. But I think I moved them over to my bookshelf thing. But I think I drew a grasshopper already once, and my wife was sad because I made it like a more realistic looking grasshopper instead of a cartoon one. So tonight, in honor of my wife, I'll draw a more cartoon grasshopper. In fact, I just got an idea. Like I kind of had a punchline in mind that I was going to do. But now I'm going to change it just slightly in honor of my story. It's going to be my story related. How does that sound? Not totally, but related. Okay, related. That looks like the dude from Invader Zim. Anybody watch that cartoon, Invader Zim? This looks like this robot guy. See, but how do I make it look like a grasshopper as a cartoon? I don't think I've really drawn a cartoon grasshopper. I've made it my style nowadays to where my humans are cartoons, but if I ever draw an animal, the animal is like more realistic looking instead of like a cartoon animal. And so now I'm like not used to drawing cartoon versions of what an animal would look like. What kind of outfit does a hobo grasshopper wear? See, it'd be cool to get real creative and be like, oh, he wears like a vest, but the vest is made of like some sort of leaf or whatever. But that stuff's kind of hard to do in just black and white. So I think I'll do the vest. The nice thing about drawing stuff that has multiple hands is I can give it lots and lots of gestures. I can have him being expressive with his hands and talking, and I can have him just resting his hands and being all chill. I can do both. Long thorax and springy back legs. He wears an old top hat and a jacket with tails. Yeah, see, I didn't want him to totally be like Jiminy Cricket, but I mean, Jiminy Cricket is kind of the. Wait, was he dressed as a hobo, or was he dressed like a butler or something? Oh yeah, patches. Definitely have patches. All right, yeah, let's make some patches. Good call. See, but like, how do I make this look like a whatever? That's a grasshopper. Okay, he's gonna be saying, "This is the life." Give a little hint of water. All right. No, that's gonna be too. It's gonna be too small. Okay, and I was off camera anyway, right? They have spikes on that leg? I think so. Dude, that was... You probably didn't notice, but I noticed. I just drew this line, and I messed up, so my hand went over like this, and that was to hit the undo button. My arm just did the undo twitch. Oof. I've been drawing digital too long. Search for the Grasshopper and Ants cartoon. I think it's Looney Tunes. Tattered old clothes got fancied after the Blue Fairy magicked him. Magicked him. That's kind of hard to say. Magicked him. Oh, see, didn't and a lot of cartoons don't have the top hat. It's like cut open, almost like a can, like an open can, like the top of the top hat's like boop. It's so funny that it's just like that's probably just something some cartoonist made up because they thought it was funny to draw or something, and then it just becomes iconic. And now it's just like, oh. And it's like the whole stick with the whole stick with the bag like this, you know, with all their belongings like wrapped up in a cloth and tied around a stick. Like, did the cartoonist just like see one hobo in their life, and that hobo was dressed like that or did that, and so they're just like, well, that's what hobos do. I don't know. See, there's a lot of things that artists basically that things look the way they look, or people have ideas about what something looked like just because an artist did it. Okay, I'm gonna draw this goofy helicopter. That's just a sphere or just a circle, because I don't want to draw like a normal accurate helicopter. You know what I'm saying? Like, you get the idea. It's a helicopter. Okay, so I did say that this joke is related to my story, but related, not actually what happened. Just so you know. Okay. I'm gonna change this. Whoops. Let's do what a beautiful day. And then a perfect day for ... running from the cops. Okay. Okay, let me zoom out here. Here's my button. Okay, so there's it so far. Now this is the part of the show where I do a mid suggestion. Okay, so now's the time of the show where I do a mid suggestion. So it works just like the first suggestion. It works just like the first part. And if you didn't see the first part, well, sorry, whatever. So yeah, you're gonna see a little dancing guy. I'm gonna put go in the chat, so make sure you're looking at the chat. And then the first suggestion. So I'm just gonna do one this time. The first suggestion, I will then put that in here somewhere. Okay. So before I start inking, let's do where's my button there? So yeah, before I start inking, let's do the mid suggestion. Alright, we have our mid-suggestion of Sloppy Joes. Okay. Oh, before I switch screens, hey, did you guys notice my little Rocketeer guy back here? I don't know if you noticed last time, but I had a little Funko Pop of Bob Ross. So I think just starting from Bob Ross, and then now I'm gonna stick right behind me here. I'm gonna stick like a little Easter eggy type thing. I have like a bazillion of toys on the shelf, on these shelves. But here, I'll even let you see. So like right over there, there's my Rocketeer stuff. And then over there, wow, my hands are really steady. Sheesh. Anyway, so there's all that stuff. And then I have some stuff on that shelf as well. And then over on this side, whoops, that's my Alphaville stuff. And look, there's my ring light. Yay. And there's my pile of crap that that's been sitting there forever. I need to do something. Well, I have, all right, right up there. You see that square? That's like an attic space. I need to stick all my junk in the attic space. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. And it's been there like a year. Okay. Zoom in. What? Wait, hold on. Oh, Sloppy Joes. That's what it was. Yep. Sloppy Joes. Sloppy Joes. Let's see. Let's put it right here. Let's do a little sesame seed bun. And let's put a bunch of sloppy slop stuff right there. It's kind of tiny. But you see it, right? Where's the camera? Right. Oh, goodness. Why is this so hard? Anyway, there it is. Hamburger. Sloppy Joe. Sloppy Joe. By the time you get my age, you will need a bigger office. Yeah. Actually, it's plenty big. I do have a whole chunk of wall that has nothing there. That's my dream section of wall. When I see what I really want is like a metal Hylian shield and the Master Sword from Legend of Zelda. I want like a real metal sword and a metal Hylian shield, and it'll go right there in that spot. So it's sort of reserved. And then Then there was like a corner back there. I want a mannequin that I'm going to put like the helmet, the Rocketeer stuff, and I want to put it all on a mannequin, and I want the mannequin in the corner. And it'll be super cool. That's like my dream setup. Okay. All right, I am now inking this thing, and I have not forgotten that I have a story to tell because this story actually has to do with river stuff. And that's why my wife suggested whitewater rafting, probably because she was hinting me to tell this story. All right, so last week, what was that, the 19th or whatever? We were like, hey, let's go rafting, or we have these inflatable kayaks. We're like, let's go kayak the Green River. So I was like, all right, cool. But I had never kayaked the Green River before. Okay. But here's the thing. The Green River, it's a very slow river, all right? Like this thing it's wide and it's winding and it's super slow, okay? This is not some sort of, at least there is a part of the Green River that like when it first, I think the Green River like comes out of a dam. When it first comes out of a dam, like the first mile of the river or something, it does have some cool rapids and some crazy stuff, and it's fun to raft it or whatever. But the part that we rafted was down by like almost the actual city of Green River. And at that point, it's very slow, okay? It's a very wide, slow, nothing river. Okay, well, so since it's slow, it actually takes a while to float it. And I didn't know that. I didn't know how long it was going to take. So what we did is me and my son, maybe I'll keep him nameless just to whatever. Me and one of my children, my wife dropped us off because here's the thing, it's so long or whatever. You need someone to drop you off and then go down to another section to then pick you up when you get there. So my wife dropped us off and then she drove down to go pick us up at this spot. Now I've never done this before, so I didn't know what the spot looked like. I didn't know where it was. I didn't know how long down the river it was. I didn't know anything. I was basically going into all this blind. And that was that. Okay, so we're rafting this river, and we're going. And we started at like 7 o'clock in the evening. Okay, we thought it was maybe going to be like, whatever. We thought it was maybe going to be like an hour and a half, and then boom, we get out. It's all good. Well, it's starting to get a little dark for my liking. And so me and my son, we saw this little hill. And so we get out. We're like, well, let's get out. Let's walk up this little hill, see if we can see what's going on. See if we can see where we are or see any landmarks. Because the thing is, I know what some of the landmarks should be. Like, I know that eventually we were going to float past like a golf course at some point. I didn't know when, but I knew that the river does float past a golf course. And around a golf course is sort of like civilization, you know? So I was like, well, let's get up this hill. Let's see if we can see the golf course or something. So we get up this hill, and there's nothing. There's still just more river. So like I was like, it's getting kind of dark, and I don't see any sign of any sort of civilization yet, right? This river it's all slow and whatever, but it's out in the middle of nowhere. Like, there's nothing around it, okay? This is Wyoming, where there are just miles and miles and miles of nothing. Okay, so we're like, dude, we got to just get back in this river, and we just got to book it hard. Like, because we had these kayaks, and we're just like, we had some paddles, so we're just so anyway, it's starting to get like dark. Okay, it's now, and okay, here's the thing I forgot to mention. I was like, oh, I don't want to get my phone wet, so I left it with my wife. Okay, so my son doesn't have a phone, I don't have a phone. There's no way for me to call my wife, no way for my wife to call me, nothing. And also, since it was just such a whatever tame, lazy river, we didn't pack like water or snacks or nothing. We did nothing. We just got in these kayaks and got in the water, and we just assumed that like it was going to be about an hour and we were going to be done. But we're now 2 hour, we're about, we later found out we were now like 2.5 hours into this thing, and we were still nowhere next to any sort of civilization. Okay. And I was like, all right, dude. So I told my son, I was like, we basically have like two choices right now. We either get out of the river and try to find shelter, or we try to float this river in the pitch dark. And I wasn't too thrilled about trying to do the river in the dark. Because, anyway, I was like, I don't think we can navigate this river in the dark. Because even though it was slow, it had some, like, twists and turns and whatever. And other dumb things, like my kayak didn't have this fin on the, like, kayaks are supposed to have this little fin on the bottom, like a shark fin type thing, to help you like steer, and mine didn't. So every little thing I'm doing is just like flipping me in circles the whole time. It was really stupid. But so I was like, and okay, here's another thing. Also, I didn't have my glasses. I was like, I don't want to lose my glasses just in case I fall in, and I don't want to ruin my phone. So I left my glasses and my phone. So I'm basically blind. So that was one of the biggest reasons, because I was like, dude, I can't see where we're going. Like, because it's dark and I don't have my glasses, so I can't even see anything. Okay, so we're going along, and my son sees this up on this hill. There's like some buildings. They look like trailers. You know, like trailer park trailers. So my son's like, well, I saw some trailers back there. And he's like, it doesn't really look like people live in them, but we could go see just in case maybe someone does live in it. So we're like, all right. And I was like, well, even if no one lives there, that could be at least shelter or something. All right. So we get out of the kayaks, pull them onto the shore, and we walk up this hill to these trailers. Well, they were like, I don't know what it was. It was just some kind of dump for maybe like a construction company or something. Because it was kind of, it was dark, so we couldn't quite tell what was in these trailers. But it kind of just looked like a bunch of like pipe and construction equipment or something. And they were locked. So there was these two trailers, they were locked. But then there was these two cars. One of the cars was totally like smashed, like the roof was caved in or whatever. So it was like just a garbage dump car. But the other car looked all right, and it was open. It was unlocked. So we're like, all right, well, we can get in here if we need to. But then a little bit down the road, we saw this, it was like a camper, like somebody's camper that they go camping in, right? Okay, so we're like, dude, well, let's go see if this camper's unlocked. So we go to this camper, and the camper's locked, but one of the windows in the camper was like slightly open, and I could get my hand up in it enough to where like I turned this little knob that then opened the window all the way up. And I was like, dude, sweet. And we could see in the camper that there was even like blankets and pillows and stuff. So we're like, oh, sweet, dude. So I hoist up my son. and I stuff him through this window and have him go unlock the trailer. So he goes, he unlocks the trailer. When we go into this trailer, that's just like, it's just somebody's camper trailer out in the absolute middle of nowhere. And we're like, well, looks like we're spending the night in this camper. Because I wasn't going to go down the river in the pitch black, right? And I was like, well, we need shelter. And here's the cool thing. Like, seriously, like 5 minutes after we got in this shelter, in this camper, like the wind picked up real bad and kind of like, I don't know if it was blowing sand or if it was raining or something, but like it was crazy. This huge like microburst or something of wind picks up and it's blowing everywhere. Like the camper was like rocking back and forth. I thought it was going to tip over. So I was like, well, this is an adventure, you know? So tonight, this will make for a good story. We're going to float the Green River, but then sleep the night in this random camper in the middle of nowhere. But then I was like, wait a second. Here's a problem. My wife still thinks that we're going to contact her at some point. Like, she doesn't know that we got off the river. She doesn't know that we're chilling in this camper right now. Like, she still thinks we're coming, and we're not showing up, right? So, of course, like the good woman she is, she called the police. And so search and rescue came and found us. But it was kind of funny. Like, I figured that was what's going to happen, right? I'm sitting there in that camper and I was like, my wife is probably out of her mind right now. She's probably called the police by now. And there's probably going to be someone looking for us at some point. And I thought it was going to be at like 2 a.m. or something. But it was probably around like 10:45, 11, something like that. My son was getting kind of like hot and uncomfortable in the camper. So he was like, oh, I got to get some air. So he opens up the camper and he looks out, and down the river we can see flashing red and blue lights. And he was like, hey, Dad, you think those lights are for us? And I was like, yeah, I bet those are. So I was like, well, let's grab our stuff, because we had like we had our life jackets and whatever. So we grabbed our life jackets, we left the camper, we went to the edge of the hill and just kind of like waited for the search rescue people to come. Anyway, they found us, and at first all we could see were just like some people in some cars and trucks and ATVs and stuff. And dude, there's nothing more embarrassing than having search and rescue come find you. Like, I'm sure it's great for people who are like actually in need. You know what I mean? Like, it's probably awesome for them to see search and rescue. Like, yay, I'm saved. But for me, I was like, yay, I'm embarrassed. So anyway, so these cops pick us up. We're out in the middle of nowhere. And at first I'm just like really embarrassed, right? But then the helicopter, dude. This helicopter comes flying over with the big floodlight pointing down. So I was like, I later found out they had 2 boats. They put one boat in the water where we like started, and then one boat in the water where my wife was, where she called at this park in a little place called Jamestown. And then like, you know, and then they were just going to like basically head towards each other to find us. So they had 2 boats. I don't know how many people in each boat, probably at least 2 or 3. And then a helicopter, and then the people in like the trucks and ATVs and stuff. Yeah, so basically me and my son went missing and had to be found by search and rescue. Anyway, that's my story, and it was a good time, and it's super embarrassing. But props to them because they found us. So, I mean, like when we saw the lights coming close, we started like yelling and waving our hands and stuff, and then they saw us. But man, they're good at doing their job. But yeah, it was super embarrassing. But the funny thing though is, so I didn't catch the dude's name, but one of the officers, when he asked me what my name was, he was like, "Do you know Nathan and Fish?" And I was like, "Yeah, they're my brothers." So then, anyway, so he started asking about all my family. So Wendy, he knew you, but I didn't catch what his name was. I didn't ask. I guess I was too embarrassed. So like this dude, even like one of the dudes that found us and picked us up, he even like basically knew my family, knew all my older siblings and stuff. So I don't even know if maybe that's even more embarrassing. I just disgraced the Harmon name. Dude. Mark, always have a small emergency kit. Also, waterproof phones. Yeah, okay, I know. Okay? That's why I was embarrassed. Because I went into this thinking it was going to be like just this nothing little dumb trip. Like, it was going to be like an hour in the water, floating real soft, and then picked up. Yay, woohoo. Like, I thought it was going to be so dumb. Like, but I wasn't prepared for anything. So anyway, yeah, I know. And all of it was like, seriously, just taking my phone, and I didn't fall in, so I didn't need to like worry about anything. I didn't fall in, so I could have took my glasses. I could have took my phone. I should have took my phone. The thing is, like, I need a new phone anyway. Like, it might have been good to have it fall in the river. But yeah. So anyway, so we got home at like 1 a.m. from that little trip. It was good times. So what I'm saying is they always have to report that kind of stuff, right? Like it goes in the newspaper or something. So anyway, my family that lives in Green River, I don't know what the newspaper is or whatever that does Green River stuff. Anyway, you might see my name in the newspaper about man aged 43 found lost kayaking something. I'll probably be in the newspaper or something. So I wasn't running from the cops, but there was the part where like when they found us and they saw us and they were coming towards us and they had their lights on, and me and my son were like trying to get over this fence. Like I felt like I was running from the cops. Like I'm over here trying to hop this fence with these, and I'm being lit up by these blue and red lights and stuff. And I felt like I was running from the cops. So that's why this is tangential, because he's going down a river and then there's cops involved. Yeah, anyway, that's my story. It's super embarrassing. So now when we're ever like as a family, if we're all like getting together or something, see, the thing is, I can already hear the jokes right now. Like, I can already see the jokes. I'm anticipating the jokes already. Like, if I go to the bathroom and someone's like, "Hey, where'd Mark go?" And they're like, "Oh, shoot, call rescue or whatever. Call search and rescue." Like I can already, dude, I can already see the jokes about needing to call search and rescue because I went to the bathroom or something. Anyway, that's it. That's it, people. Oh wait, hold on. Anyway, that's it, people. There's your comic on demand of Hobo Grasshopper, Whitewater Rafting, and the mid-suggestion of Sloppy Joes. Anyway, that's it. That's my story. That was my fun, exciting weekend a couple weeks ago. And for those that are watching, for family that's watching, you now got exclusive hearing of this story. I was gonna put it on our family group thing, but nah. So if you want to hear this story, you gotta come watch my show. Or I guess you could tell somebody else now, I guess. I can't stop you. But anyway, that's it, people. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for I have to look over here to see my button to click. Anyway, thanks for showing up. You're awesome. Seriously, thank you for coming and watching me draw and tell dumb stories. It's always a good time. Anyway, you're awesome. See you next week.